everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me today is my co-host, Tim Morse.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Unfortunately, our other co-host, Jamie Wojcik, is not here. He said something about a car was passing and he tried to bite it and hurt his teeth. He said he's something like Jaws in the James Bond movie, so we wish him a speedy recovery. So, Jamie, we could see you back, hopefully next week on episode 50. But now we get back to episode 49, where we will be reviewing X Factor number 1. We will be having another round of Do You Know? Our topic of the week is, when did one of your favorite heroes or villains really make you mad at them? I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yep.
And then we got a lot with Our Works. And then we always start off with the comic book news.
That's right. Sonny, you've got the first one today, and this is a doozy.
This is, yes, there has been Ezra Miller is in more trouble. So yeah, this is again very unfortunate. We know Ezra Miller has been in trouble before with the throwing the chair. There was a video a couple years ago of throwing a young lady down, choking them. But now Ezra Miller this may be the worst in their criminal record. Ezra Miller is said to be on the run at the parents of an 18-year-old Native American woman, Takata Iron Eyes, is said to be missing, and her parents have put out a file. They're trying to find her, and they have the police now looking for Ezra Miller in search to find Takata Iron Eyes. And the reason is because there's been pictures, and Ezra Miller has been accused of grooming Takata for years. And even in the art, I'm not sure if it was in the article I sent you, there's been many articles, and I did see a picture, and either you could look it up or maybe I could send it to you, where
you'll have to send it to me because I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I have to send it. There's a picture in a car, and you see Ezra Miller, and you see in the background is Takata, and she looks very either high on drugs, or I know sometimes when you get tired, you can look like you're kind of out of it, but she looks like she's on drugs. So that's what they're saying, that Ezra Miller has drugged Takata, and like I said, has been grooming Takata for years.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ezra Miller has a court appearance, is set to make it a court appearance July 12th. But they're saying that since Ezra Miller is constantly moving and constantly doing different movies, they're thinking they won't show up.
Now, from what I understand, and I've passively been keeping up on this. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, what Ezra Miller is doing is incredibly wrong. If what he's being accused of is the case.
Excuse me, there is a message.
No, excuse me, Jarvis. We're in the middle of a podcast right now. You're going to have to wait a second. Sorry about that. But anyways, yeah. So obviously grooming somebody underage is morally, societally, and incredibly wrong. You cannot do that to somebody. That is something you can't do. And he, as a person, or they, as the pronouns he prefers to have, and there's the photo. Yep. Wow, that is bananas. She does not look happy at all.
No.
But anyways, like I was saying, this is something that he can't run away from, period. He will get caught eventually, and hopefully the outcome is where everybody comes away safe, right? My personal opinion, and I could be wrong on this, but I don't think something that drastic is going to happen. I hope and I pray that it doesn't, but we've seen things like this take place before. He can't run from this. Like the Flash can, has access to the Speed Force. Ezra Miller does not. This is the real world, and the real world has real world consequences. And once he is caught, and he will be, jail and prison are going to be his home for a long time to come. His acting career is all but over now with the events like this. There's already been rumors of Warner Brothers severing ties with Ezra Miller, and they were on the fence about that before with things that were happening in Hawaii. Now this whole event, that seals the deal.
Yeah, this is on another level, like you said.
Yeah, this is bananas. And on top of that, Ezra Miller had the nerve to post on Instagram memes and things like that relating to his run from this and people trying to catch him.
Oh,
And he's
wow.
posting memes and things in correspondence with what is going on. Ezra, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt you are, but if you are, you need to stop what you're doing right now, and you need to let that young lady go. You need to let her go home, because I think it's pretty obvious that her parents want her back, and I think that she may want to go back too. So do the right thing, do the good thing, do what the Flash would do, and put an end to this right now, because this is out of control. This has gone beyond celebrity mishaps and mistakes into something very real and very serious.
Yeah, I completely agree. Even too, like, obviously, the world, a lot of people have been talking about, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing,
Yeah,
and I think this is even worse. I mean, yes, it's
yeah,
bad what's going on. I think this is even worse.
leaps
So,
and bounds.
yeah, in that time, like DC, you got to make the smart move. I think, as much as we want to see the Flash movie, I'm excited for it. I think it would be smart to, even if they have to delay it, to replace Ezra Miller, because why are you going to spend all this time and all this stuff in this movie? It's just going to be a great movie, but then you're going to lose out so much money because so many people are going to see Ezra Miller and say, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to
On
see it.
on that aspect, I don't think that Warner Brothers will reshoot the entire movie that they've already shot. I don't think that they're going to do that. With the rumors of Amber Heard being removed from Aquaman 2, I don't think that's a possibility either. Cutting her screen time down is one thing, removing her completely is something totally different. I don't think that's going to happen. And with the Flash movie, that will be the last time we see Ezra Miller as the Flash. But I don't think they're going to remove him from the movie. I think that process is too far.
So well, I hope so. I would like to see it, like I said, because I think
It'd be
it's like you spend
nice.
all this money and then you still got
Yeah.
over a year left. Yeah, because so far, as of right now, the Flash is set to come out June 23rd, 2023.
Yeah, a lot
We
of
still got a year to
time,
go.
a whole year between now and then to see what changes they make, if any, and what they do to recast him.
Yeah, there's even too, like with deep fake, they might have to do a deep fake, something like that. But somebody else in there, because I want this movie to succeed. DC, come on, there's so many people who don't even know like superhero stuff, and they don't even say superhero movies anymore. They just say, oh Marvel
Right.
movies. Come on, DC, we're rooting for you, man.
They're
We want
trying.
to see, yeah. So
They're trying, but with a lot of the actors that they're getting, obviously you can't see what they're going to do in the future. But red flags are there in the beginning of what they could potentially do. But they see things differently than we do, and they go through different things than we do too. So, but let's get on to some good DC news. How about that?
yes, that sounds
Okay.
good to me. Get on to some hot summer news.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, the critically acclaimed and highly awesome animated series Harley Quinn is confirmed for season 3. And though there is no release date yet, it will premiere later this summer, this year. So, this is from Superhero Hype, written by Blair Marnell, and I'm going to go into this a little bit. Let's see here. So the official Harley Quinn Twitter page has released a photo, and Sonny, you've seen this, of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn sipping wine on a beach somewhere, green skin and white skin galore, oceans and waves and sands, and the hottest duo Gotham's ever seen will be back this summer. So, no specific release date yet or even a trailer, but with summer, there are only 2 other possible months beyond what we're in now. So that would be July and August. I'm shooting for August, but presumably, according to the article, HBO Max will start the promotional campaign in a few weeks. And with that being said, it goes on to state that a show like Young Justice Phantoms did drop on HBO Max without any advance warning, so they can't rule out that scenario either. But then the article goes into speculation, et cetera, et cetera. I'm excited about this. I've only watched a handful of episodes of the first season, and I was dying. I was cracking up. Kite Man is my new favorite D-list Batman villain. Yeah, so
He'll be getting a show too.
yes, he's getting his
Yeah,
own
so.
show too. But Harley Quinn season 3, beyond excited about this. And by the time it drops, I'll be all caught up, ready to go.
Yeah, and I have some catching up to do, and I'm sure I think he's all caught up.
Yeah,
He's doing
Jamie's
good
all
as well.
caught up. Every time we talk about this, he tells me that I need to watch a lot more shows. I'm getting to it,
Yeah.
Jamie. I'm getting to it.
Yes, there's so many shows out now.
I know
There's a
you've
lot
got
to
to be
catch up
very
on.
selective with your time. My kids and I started Smallville, and we're 2 episodes in, but that's
Well, only a little about what
10
200 left,
seasons.
250 left.
Yeah, 250 episodes. Plenty of time. But yeah, Harley Quinn season 3, I'm ready for it.
When I'm caught up, I'll be ready for it too. But it does always look good. It does seem like a good, fun show, and like I said, the humor is more adult humor. It is really mature.
Very adult, very, very adult. Absolutely.
And when I looked up the cast, the voice casting on there's a lot of big stars who do a lot of the voices. I was like, wow, I was really impressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely some A-listers.
When you watch it, set aside like all thoughts and notions of what you think the show should be, and just let it take you for the ride through the funhouse, and you'll come out the other end and you'll be like, what the hell did I just watch? That was amazing. That was one of the greatest shows ever.
Nice. Yeah, you and I have some TV watching to do.
Absolutely. But we might have some movie watching to do.
Yes, we do. And also, we have some Spanish to be learning. Because Batman Azteca is coming on HBO Max Latin America. So Batman Azteca Choque de Imperios, which translates to Aztec Batman Clash of Empires, is set to come on HBO Max Latin America. Although I was trying to look around and see when there is no actual release date yet. But yeah, the Aztec Batman is set to be around, set to be in Mexico. It's set to be a bit different. It's not Bruce Wayne. It is the character of, okay, I pronounce this right, Yohuali Kotel. And yes, I probably messed it up, but yeah,
You did better than I would have done.
Yeah, and it is that his father is murdered, and he does want revenge, but it is not the classic Batman story. There's something different villains dealing with a lot of Spaniards and the Spanish invasion. So there's a lot going on. The picture in the article looked pretty cool. It's obviously we see it's a different kind of Batman.
The promotional picture.
Yep, the promotional picture. It looked cool, looked different, and I think this is a really smart move on HBO Max to do this because, like they were mentioning in the article, like, Netflix has a lot of Spanish speaking shows, and it's made Netflix like the most popular streaming service in Latin America. And for HBO Max to do this, I think it's definitely a move in the right direction. I think it's going to get a lot of people over to HBO Max. Like I said, not everybody speaks English, right? So this brings in a whole new level, a whole new audience to HBO Max. And like Netflix, when there were certain shows that were in Spanish, that even eventually some of them were so popular that people who didn't speak Spanish started watching the shows either with subtitles or with dubbing. And I'm sure with this, it is Batman. So, you have some people who just want to watch everything Batman. Can't blame them.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that this will be something people will gravitate towards, even if it's not in a language they speak. So I'll have a good excuse. I will say, to my love, my Maria, today's Spanish lesson is me watching this movie. And there we go. I get to watch some Batman, and I get to practice some of my Spanish.
There you go. I am very confident that after the exclusive release on HBO Latin America that Batman Azteca gets, it'll get an international release. They can't just leave it in one market. It will go everywhere else. I hope that the integrity of the movie stays firm, and they don't do voiceovers. They just do subtitles, so that way you can experience it the way it's supposed to. With that being said, this is something that I'll get to watching. There's so much, like we just talked about, there's so much stuff on there to choose from. I am not even caught up all the way on DC's animated universe, let alone the 1,000,001 Batman properties that are out there right now. So this is something that I'll get to. It looks interesting. The promotional poster looked wonderful. The animation style looks great. So I can only hope and assume that it's going to be just as good as that from there. But yeah, I'll check it out. It looks good, looks interesting. I have no problem watching with subtitles. I can't speak a lick of Spanish, but it'll teach me something that I don't know.
You know. And now with that, we move on to Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Yes, Ash himself, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Campbell is coming back to the comic book world with a series he is writing for DC's horror label, and it's called Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. It is going to be a 6-issue miniseries set in 1944 at the tail end of World War II, and he is going to be fighting some German soldiers zombies. You know what they're called historically. I have no desire to say it right now, so you guys can just kind of depict that from there. But Bruce Campbell's heading back to the comic world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is on collider.com, and he is set to be writing DC Horror Presents Sergeant Rock vs. the Army of the Dead, and it's being released under DC's horror banner, which I would assume is the Black Label. The miniseries will feature artwork by Eduardo Risso and is recontextualizing the adventures of Sergeant Rock, who was created by Robert Kanigher and Joe Kubert in 1959. Now, this isn't the first time Bruce Campbell has done comic books, but it is the first since he did comics for Dark Horse in a title called Man with the Screaming Brain, based on a movie of the same name starring Bruce Campbell. So Sergeant Rock vs. the Army of the Dead #1 is set to release on September 27th, and it seems like it is right up his alley to write. Yeah, so it goes into a little bit of synopsis on what the series is going to be about. So it starts in Berlin, 1944. Soldiers are flanked on all sides with defeat. Eminent Hitler and his evil doctors create a serum to bring their dead soldiers back to life and thus create an army of the dead. Sergeant Rock and his easy company must then take on their scariest foes yet, undead German soldiers. So yeah, this is going to be awesome to watch, or not watch, read. I hope that it becomes something animated. That would be wonderful. I love horror comics. I love history. And I think that this is going to be something wonderful. Bruce Campbell writing, yeah, it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, one of those that's just going to be fun, all out action, blood, and gore. Like I said, Sergeant Rock is just going to be killing a bunch of zombies, and who knows, maybe we'll even get to see him kill Hitler too.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
It should be fun.
Maybe we'll even get to see the classic 78 Oldsmobile that didn't exist in 1944. That's in every Sam Raimi movie ever. That Bruce Campbell is in every Sam Raimi movie ever. So yeah, hopefully it gets squeezed in there somewhere.
Maybe something they can hit a time machine and somehow something comes forward and that's what it is.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. I'll be checking it out. Absolutely. Yeah, that'll go on my pull list. 6 issues, you can't beat it.
Yeah, and some of those the variant covers look pretty cool. I was looking at them like, which one?
I didn't see any of the variants. I didn't see any of those, but
cool.
I did see the main promo picture for it, and that looks great.
Yeah, so I did check out some of the variant covers. They're pretty cool looking. Some of them are very like comic style, like it's a classic comic style, and then some of them are more newer, like they look so realistic. So
that's wonderful. Like. That's wonderful. Right on.
I'm looking forward to Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I'll be picking it up for sure.
Okay, so that concludes our comic news. I did a really good job of doing a transition just from just talking about Batman, just saying, so let's talk about Bruce Campbell. Just randomly, because Bruce. There we go.
There you go.
There you go. Now I get it. After we conclude comic news. And now speaking of completing comic news, now we move on to our works.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, since we had missed a couple of weeks and we had so much going on with Codex, I didn't really want to do much talking about me. But I said this week we have a little more time. since it's just two of us. So lately, a couple weeks ago, I had missed an episode of the podcast because I was doing a lot more filming with a series about a series. I'm like, okay, so now I'm almost done filming episode 2. I had some auditions, and I've been casting for my fan film miniseries of For the Man Who Has Everything.
Nice.
Searching, I have found Kel's father. I may have found his wife. So casting is being done. So I'm very happy about that. And last night / this morning, I have been writing a story. I've just been very quiet about it. I said I won't mention it until it's done. And I finished writing The Hitman's Lover. Now that story is from a series about a series. It's about he's making this show called Hitman's Lover. So I've written a complete book called The Hitman's Lover.
That's awesome.
I completed that, and I've really been happy about all that stuff that we've been doing, that we've got going on. And maybe it's not so much of work, but I'm like, this would be a good transition. Me and my fiance we've been doing some TV watching this weekend, and we've been watching Stranger Things. And last night we got all caught up, and then I was able to watch a certain review somebody did.
What are your thoughts on season 4 so far?
Loving it. I would say I won't give away the reviews. If you want to see your scores that Tim, Kristen, and Tone give it, you got to watch the review that you guys did on it. But I would say I'm closer to your score on it. So I loved it. I thought it was
not a 10 out of 10.
Close to a 10 out of 10. I'd say.
Fair enough. I'll take that. I absolutely.
Some really amazing parts, and yes, like I said, I don't want to give anything away because this is the spoiler-free part. But I'll just say the running up that hill scene was my favorite part too.
Dude, the whole season. I cannot wait for part 2 of season 4. It's going to be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, almost there. Only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, couple weeks. 2, I think 2.5 weeks, and then we're there. Yeah, something like that. You got anything else you're working on, Sonny?
But that, well, actually, then too, I was going to lead that into. I was going to let you take over with Codex since you're going to say reviews. Well, if we want to talk about reviews, like I said, I've been doing quite a bit of work, so I've been behind, but I will get in that Boom Thursday review of Grimm #1. So I got some filming to do on that.
Right on. Well, with that being said, I'll go ahead and let everybody know about the Codex stuff we got going on. Guys, lots of stuff is going on in the background, but in the foreground, what is available for you now is merchandise, and you can go to the website, which is available in the chat right now, and on YouTube, it will be in the comment section below, so you can check it out. Guys, if you're watching this live right now and you have no desire to look in the chat, I'll read it off to you. It's the codexstation.creator spring.com. There's a hyphen in between each word, the -code -x -station.creator spring.com. You have a photographic memory, so type it in and go buy some sweet Codex swag. Get yourself a shirt, sticker, or a hoodie. Everything that you buy helps us. We get a portion of that, and it helps us bring the best videos to you all the time, every time. So please give us your support. On top of that, we are over 100 subscribers on YouTube. We are cruising upwards to 200, and we can't do that without your help. So spread the word. The Codex Station on YouTube and right here on Twitch, we are in the fight for 50, and we are making our way there. And if you are watching this right now and you're not following the Codex Station here on Twitch, you need to. Lots of cool stuff all week long, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. The podcast on Wednesdays, Breaking the Code on Fridays, and Codex After Dark on Saturday nights. So definitely follow, subscribe, like, share, spread the word, and get in on the fun. As far as decoding panels is concerned, Dark Knights of Steel #6 just came out this past Tuesday. So we are all caught up there with the exception of issue 7, which hit comic shelves last week. That'll be coming out soon. But before that, we have Deceased, the full story, coming your way next week. And the week after that, we have the first half, and Sonny, you'll be excited for this, the first half of the Phoenix saga. That is on its way. So that is Uncanny X-Men issues 101 through 108. That'll be coming your way after Deceased. We'll have a couple of single issues come out in between then. And then we will finish off the Phoenix Saga with the Dark Phoenix storyline. And I believe that ends at Uncanny 138, and it goes 8 or 9 issues previous to that. So yeah, Uncanny 129 to 138, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't know. I've got it written down. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming your way there. New Breaking the Codes coming out every week. Codex After Dark with me, Jamie, and Tone. Always a good time showing off pull lists and comics that we picked up throughout the week. So don't miss out, guys. Follow us there, here on Twitch, over on YouTube, all the socials. You know what to do. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us.
It is right. So as Tim said, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, buy our stuff. And
yes.
I was thinking Tim, like, when my stuff comes in the mail, I may have to make a commercial. It's been a little while since it's been a promo or anything. When I get my Codex swag,
I would love to see a Sunny TV spot for Codex swag. That would be amazing.
So I'm like, maybe I'll have to see, because I'm getting like, when I was seeing the stuff, I was looking at the website, I was like, oh, something's coming to the mind.
Yes, absolutely must be done.
All right. Then it looks like it's got to be done then.
But yeah, that's what we got coming up for you, plus a whole lot more that I won't go into, but I will give a sneak peek before we move on to the topic of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, things are in the work for a new segment on Codex called Comics 101. So be prepared for that.
And now on that topic, we move on to our topic of the week.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the topic of the week. Oh, Sonny, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. The topic of the week this week is, when did one of your favorite heroes or villains really make you mad at them?
Tim, the co-host of Codex, for trying to just cruise right along.
We got to let them know what the topic is.
I'm ready to go, man. I got it right here looking at it.
Well, as usual, Jamie does the top 3 comments, but he's not here. So today, Tim will take over the top 3 comments.
Thank you for that transition, Sonny. Absolutely fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, these top 3 come from Comic Character of the Day on Facebook. So if you're not a part of that community, go ahead and jump in there and join. We are all in there. Jamie, Tone, Kristen, everybody is in there, and we interact, they interact, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really good community. But moving on, number 1, we have David Barry, and he says, easiest answer, Spider-Man's agreement with Mephisto in One More Day. And he's pretty passionate about why he feels that way, and I'm going to go into that. So what David says is, giving up his marriage to save Aunt May was stupid. She's already elderly, and sure, his other dumb decision to unmask on live television put her in harm's way, and his guilt ate away at him, but him being Spider-Man puts her in danger regardless. Losing the time and progress of his marriage was a slap in the face to Mary Jane and their legacy. I agree, David. I agree 110%. Number 2.
I think many do. I think many do that one, yeah.
Number 2 is Andrew Wanrose. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. And excuse me, he just puts up a picture and says, this garbage. And we all know what it is. It's Captain America revealing himself to be a Hydra agent. So yeah, and Dan Kelly, an admin on Comic Character of the Day, that was his choice as well. But Andrew, yes, I agree with you on that too. And then last but not least, we go into our very own Tone Falcone, and he says Dr. Doom. And he goes on to say, man could save the world if he could just get past his own ego, insecurity, and self-entitlement. Tone, we saw that in a review of a series you did called Doom. And what did Dr. Doom do to that guy? Obliterated his entire universe. All because Reed Richards was his best friend. Wait a minute, you made friends with Richard? Where's the ultimate nullifier? Whoa, what are you doing? Bye.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Good
that's
answers. I agree. A lot of good answers right there.
that's the top three, ladies and gentlemen. Again, they come from Comic Character of the Day. Go check them out if you haven't already. Sonny, what is your
Okay,
choice?
so for me, I have two. I'll go with one DC and one Marvel of moments that I remember like when I was reading, got me really mad. One was in Batman, A Death in the Family. I was mad at Superman because when the Joker is going to court and Batman is just so mad because it's about the death of Robin and Superman gets in his way and he's stopping Batman. I remember being very mad at Superman. That's the most I was ever mad at Superman. I love him, but Batman wanted his revenge and Superman stopped no. And I'm like, he's got all this stuff to go on in the world and he's there protecting the Joker. But
Wow.
he'll get arrested, he'll get out, but he had to stop Batman. So that was like one moment. I mean, I'm not like like I said, some of the other moments were obviously bigger, but there was one moment that I specifically remember
This
being
has to be
mad at
done
the
right,
time.
Batman. It cannot be done the
Yes.
wrong way.
I remember
Clark,
being very mad at that part. And another, hey, Captain America again. Civil War, when Captain America really beat up the Punisher. Of the Punisher. And Captain America's really beating him up, and the Punisher won't fight him back because he only goes after bad guys. And Captain America's, he beats, he kills and he does this, and he's really beating up the Punisher.
well,
And I was
he
very mad.
kind of had justification because like these low rate villains walk in the middle of the meeting and they're like, hey, you mind if we join your team too? And Cap's getting ready to professionally tell them no, and the Punisher just bites his lip, pulls out two Uzis, and levels these dudes right in front of everybody.
I mean, I
This was
do get like,
after he saved Spider-Man from death.
I mean, like, obviously it's not the way I would suggest handling it, right? Like, the hero ways to be nice, and especially, like I'd say Professor X would agree, hey, you can change anybody can be turned good, but I'm like, the Punisher's only taking out villains. How dare you beat
Tho-
down my boy like that? I was
those
not happy with Captain.
Who was the villains? I know one of them was Jester, if I remember right. Jester, and I can't remember who the other one was. Like, they're that inconsequential of villains, ladies and gentlemen, but they were just doing it to save their own skin. Hey, Cap, you mind if I take care of this? Sure, Frank, go ahead. Talk to him. Brrr, bye.
And I was like, Captain doesn't beat anybody else that bad, and yet he's really doing a number on the Punisher. So, like I said, mad at Superman when he stopped Batman, when going after the Joker, and mad at Captain America when he beat up the Punisher. So there's the two moments for me. And I was mad at characters that I love.
So I've got two also, and they're both Spider-Man related. My first is obviously Spider-Man with One More Day. David Barry, I am right there with you. And Sonny, like you said, a lot of other fans are too. That was the worst decision Peter Parker ever made in his life as a person. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just let Aunt May go. Let her meet Uncle Ben in the Great Gig in the Sky, and them two can sit on a park bench and eat sandwiches and drink lemonade while they watch their beautiful nephew, whatever, run around and save the world. Yes, it was a horrible decision, and it was all backroom dealings with editorial staff and people high up in the chain, Joe Quesada. But yeah, very bad, very bad. And the other one was Dr. Octopus when he took over Peter Parker's body and became the superior Spider-Man. I just hated every minute of that. Not that the story was bad, because it was good. It was really good. I just hated it. I hated the fact that Peter Parker was dead and Dr. Octopus was in control of his body and doing things that Peter normally would never do. But it still had like the villain aspect, but was doing things because, Peter made him feel guilty. If you're going to take my body, Doc, you need to know everything. My God. Yeah. So those are my two. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there we go. Good. We knew that we could get some good conversation going.
Absolutely.
So
Right
you don't
on.
think Aunt May's having fun here, on Earth, every week dealing with a new villain, throwing her
They
around, taking her hostage.
they are de-aging her with each issue they write, and she needs to go. She's dead in the movies, folks. She needs to be toast in the comic book. She needs to be a gift card every Christmas.
They should make a special 100th birthday Aunt May, and maybe that could be one. Yes, because Aunt May is 100, or she's 110 now.
How old
Like
are
you
you,
said,
Aunt May?
like you said, she's
110.
de-aging.
You
Like
you
you said,
don't
she's
look a day
de-aging.
over 45. Oh, thanks, Peter. That's amazing.
You're right. I forget that she's de-aging in the comics now.
God
So
almighty.
she may
I'm
be around
done.
a lot longer.
I love Spider-Man, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man is my favorite character. I grew up with Spider-Man, and I love the stories with Aunt May. But her time is since past due. It is time to put the cows to pasture. Send her on her way.
Out with the old, in with the new, right, Tim?
Absolutely. Bring in a long lost aunt that Peter never knew about. Her name is Aunt Marianne or something like that. Who knows?
Aunt Mary.
Where were you all this time, Marianne? I was stuck on some island out in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of people, and we finally made it back.
Yes. They can pull it off. It'll be better
Sure.
than one. It'll be better than one more day.
Yeah, tons better. Absolutely.
There we go. Well, thank you everyone for commenting, and before in a few days we will have another topic of the week posted and comic character of the day, and next week we will go over another topic of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, do you know what it's time for?
I do, Sonny. I'm ready to go. Do you know what time it is?
I am. Time for me to use the bathroom. No, joking.
Oh, okay.
No. It is not. It is not time for me to use the bathroom. It is time for Do You Know?
My favorite part of the show.
All right, today it is me first, then you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tim.
Jamie's not here to steal my victory, so.
All right, but I need it. One. We've been tying. There's been a lot of ties lately.
That's right. The last two episodes where all three of us
Yep.
were together were ties. And then the last episode where it was, I think, just me and Jamie, I won that.
You won,
I
yep.
believe that's right. Yeah. So that cycle needs to continue. All right.
Time
Go ahead.
to end it. I think you win more the single, like 1 against 1. So it needs to end.
Against two of you, it's difficult. Against one of you, I can knock pins down all day.
All right. I'm hoping you just jinxed yourself, man.
Probably.
Okay. So question number 1. We were talking about Sergeant Rock earlier, right? We know this character. We know he's going to fight the Army of the Dead soon. What is his full name?
That I don't know. Christopher Rock. That's what I'm going to say.
His name is, I would have accepted if you just said Frank Rock, but his full actual name is Franklin John Rock.
I was close.
Christopher Franklin.
Yeah, they're similar. Yeah, long names.
There.
Okay, so we're off to a good start.
Right. Woo, thank you, Sergeant Rock.
All right. So my questions are all X related, not my
Whoa. Brother Comic Podcast. This is a kid's show.
I am talking about the mutant gene, ladies and gentlemen. So with X-Men, we have the wonderful movies, some of them that came out from 20th Century Fox before they were bought by Disney, and the X-Men characters' rights reverted back to Marvel. Before that took place, though, Bryan Singer did 2 movies for X-Men, but a third one was done that he had no part of. But what I would like to know, Sonny, is do you know what the actor's name was who played Beast in X-Men The Last Stand?
I gotta go back. I gotta remember. And that one would be Hank McCoy. Okay. But who is the actor? I do not know. Right now, there's no name coming to who played.
Take
Beast.
a wild guess.
Oh, well, that would, in that case, that would be Michael J. Fox.
You are absolutely incorrect. The answer is Kelsey Grammer. You would know him as a captain in Star Trek The Next Generation, or better yet, as Frasier from Cheers and his own show.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Oh, it's even Miss Frasier. Okay, so there you go. Okay, yeah, because I knew, yeah.
So
okay, there we go.
There we go.
As
Question
you'd
number
say-
2.
As you'd say, goose eggs.
Yep, big fat goose eggs right now.
Okay. In the show, we were talking about the show, Harley Quinn.
Mhm.
The actress Lake Bell voices Poison Ivy. In Marvel, who does she voice?
Rogue.
In Marvel, Lake Bell voices in the show What If? She voices Black Widow.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I had no idea about that, so I didn't know.
I was making sure I was doing some research on that Harley Quinn show, and all right, well, there you go.
Wow.
So Lake
Okay.
Bell voices Poison Ivy for DC and Black Widow.
For in What If. Right on. Okay, well, let's stick with some television shows, particularly animated. Sunny, X-Men related. So, what 80s cartoon was Iceman a major character in? Do you know?
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
That is very correct, sir. Good job. Yes, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I basically gave that to you.
That one I did like that show. Even though it was a little before my time, I would still go back and watch it whenever it was on.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar, where she was introduced, I do believe, and they ran around and had super cool apartments and hidden secret bases inside their apartments and a dog, and they would go and do wild and crazy adventures every Saturday, run into the X-Men, the likes of Doctor Doom and the Green Goblin, etc., etc. Wonderful show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Sonny, you've got 1 point right now. Let's see if I can catch up to you.
Okay. In 1922, no.
Yeah.
Okay. This one goes with who we're reading. X Factor.
Okay.
Right behind you. As we know, X Factor, as you can see behind you, was the original X Factor was the original X-Men team. But eventually they changed to, as they were called, the all new, all different X Factor with members like Havoc, Polar, a Strong Guy. You know what issue of X Factor they took over and became the new
I
X Factor?
sure do. It was issue number 71.
It is correct.
I bought that off newsstands.
Nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember when that was taking place. What new X Factor? What are they going to do? What's going on? Val Cooper, I believe, was their liaison for that. And it had Polaris. Havoc was the team leader. Havoc, Polaris, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, Multiple Man. And I believe that was those 5. And other people joined the team later on. Peter David was the writer for that, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I got that. I got quite a few 4 volumes of the Visionaries. Once it would contain maybe like 5-6 issues each.
Yeah, I remember that issue 71. The cover's wonderful. It's beautiful. Absolutely. Right on. I am tied with you now. So
right,
here's
time to win. No more ties.
Here's the tiebreaker. So, Sonny, we know that the Avengers and the X-Men duked it out way back in 2012, I believe it was, with Avengers versus X-Men, right? Right. Okay. Yes. So, do you know? That's not the question. So, do you know what is the name of the team formed after the events of AVX with both mutants and non-mutants?
Thunderbolts.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. The answer is Uncanny Avengers.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So after the events of Avengers versus X-Men, a team was formed because Captain America, Steve Rogers at the time, remembered something that Scott Summers had said to him, that he had just never done enough to help mutants specifically. And with that sticking with him, he formed a new team: Thor, himself, Scarlet Witch, Rogue, Havoc, Wolverine. Yeah, a team of half mutants, half non-mutant superheroes fighting the likes of Red Skull and others. 3 volumes have come out so far, and it's a very good series if you haven't checked it out.
Okay, well, definitely have to check that out. Is it still ongoing?
No, not right now. I
has
think
ended?
the
Okay.
last series ended 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so Uncanny Avengers, December 2012 is when the first volume came out. Sonny, that's your last question. You did your last
We tied.
question. I did mine. Yep, we tied.
Again, yeah,
Fantastic.
another tie.
Okay.
Tim, you've been on a roll. You haven't had a loss in a while. It
No
needs to happen
ties.
soon. Needs to happen soon.
Well,
Alright,
when
good job,
Jimmy
man.
comes back, his
Good
tooth will
game.
be so hurt that he won't be able to answer questions, and I'll win.
What? I didn't understand you. Wrong.
That is incorrect, Jamie. Blah, blah, blah is not the correct answer.
Who was the first Robin? Nope. Sounded like you said the Tick. Wrong, not the Tick.
Incorrect. Spoon is not the correct answer.
Maybe we look forward to having you back, man.
Yeah.
Topic of the week. Oh, yeah. Of course, topic of the week is in the books. Looking at the schedule. Do you know is now in the books? We tied again. And now it is time to go to our review of X Factor #1, Baptism by Fire. Tim?
Yep.
You do the credits.
I've got the credits for you here. So
who does the lettering? Who does the lettering?
We'll get to that. That is a very special person, Sonny. Very special. So X Factor #1 comes at you from, yep, that right there. This right behind me. Writing goes to Bob Layton. Inks go to Bob Layton. Jackson Geis, I believe. I know I'm saying that wrong. And Joseph Rubinstein. Pencils go to Jackson Geis. Colors to Petra Scatizzi, Max Scheck, and Glynis Oliver. Lots of names I can't pronounce today. And letters go to the Magical Letter Fairy, because there was no credit for the letters in X Factor #1 anywhere that I could find. So they just magically appeared after all the work was done for the book. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
so
awesome.
You want me to go over the synopsis of the story? I don't mind to do that.
Sure. Okay. I'll let you do that.
Okay. So with X Factor #1, it starts off in Alaska, and you have Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor living together, raising their baby, Nathan, right? Baby Cable, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't read it yet. Oops. But anyways, they're doing that. Scott is living the life of a father and cutting trees down with his optic blasts. Madeline is having none of it because Scott seems so distracted over the past couple days. And there's a lot to be distracted about. There's potential legislation to have all mutants registered that is getting ready to go through Congress and the Senate. And that is a big deal. Scott's distracted with that and other things. And Madeline just can't take it anymore. And he feels like their marriage is, or she feels like their marriage is falling apart. Scott and her have this big argument. They separate for a little while, and in the middle of the night, she wakes up, notices that he's not there, goes outside, talks to him, and discovers that this girl, Jean Grey, is still on his mind. So that's a point of hurt for her. However, moving forward, we have Warren Worthington III, otherwise known as Angel, Hank McCoy, Beast, and Bobby Drake, Iceman, staying at this place on one side of the country. They're getting ready to leave. This is after the events of the Defenders folding in on itself, and the team is no longer. So Warren has given up being a superhero. Hank is trying to live the life of a professor, and Bobby is going to go work for some accounting division. They're trying to live normal lives. Superherodom is behind them. And so on and so forth. Come to find out, though, During the course of this event, as Hank and Bobby leave, Warren gets a call from Mr. Fantastic, and something important needs his attention in New York City. Absolutely, he'll be there. Fire up the jet, have it ready in 20 minutes. 4 hours later, he is in New York. Come to find out, Jean Grey is alive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember from the Wayback Machine in Uncanny X-Men, the Dark Phoenix saga, Jean Grey was supposed to have been killed, and she's been gone this entire time. And now, all of a sudden, she is back. Apparently, what had happened was the Phoenix saga, or the Phoenix took over her essence, the good and the bad, so much and so accurately that the body of Jean Grey was left in a capsule in the ocean for her to heal from whatever wounds she took. And the Phoenix did what she did, portraying herself as Jean Grey. And then when it came to the point of her destroying a star, the essence of Jean Grey that she took that was good convinced her not to do it and sacrifice herself instead. In the real world, she'd been gone years, right? Years.
Yeah, it was like 5 years since she was gone from the comics.
Yeah, and that now she's back. And Scott discovers this, is brought to New York, and he can't believe it. The love of his life has returned, but she can't believe that her friends, the original X-Men, are not heroes themselves. And she won't have any of that. But over the course of the issue, her and Warren talk about things, start getting things figured out. It wasn't Scott that initiated it, which I was really surprised about. It was Warren and Jean bringing the old team back together and doing something a little bit different. Hence, X Factor. Cameron Hodge is brought in as their liaison, and he goes into the aspect of, on the front, it'll be like mutant extermination, getting rid of problem mutants for a fee, of course, but in reality, they are rescuing these mutants and taking them away so that way they can live, hopefully, quieter lives and learn how to use their powers and go for the forces of good instead of the forces of evil, and so on and so forth. I won't say much more beyond that because I want you guys to read this issue for yourselves. You'll really enjoy it, as I did. Sonny will give his review in a second. But yeah, I want to go into that. So, Sonny, with this issue, the artwork, I think, was my favorite part. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This is a style that you do not see much of anymore. And I really miss that. This type of artwork, less stylized, more practical. I enjoy that a lot. And Jackson's artwork, I think, was top notch in this issue, very consistent and wonderful all the way through. With the return of Jean Grey, this is also the introduction of Rusty Collins, which is the first mission that the team goes on. They go after Rusty Collins, and a lot of groundwork in this story is set for future plot lines.
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, this here is a must read in the X mythos, as far as like things that are seeded that eventually grow into other things, leading into Inferno, Apocalypse, and so on and so forth. A lot more. But the main story itself, though, to me, isn't very full, but it gets the job done in bringing the original team back together, if a little hokey, not quite what people would be used to now, but back in the mid 80s, this was par for the course. Yeah. This was perfect. Yeah. Costumes are classic, but modernized for the time. Everybody stuck to their original colors, which I really like. A Cyclops' suit is a classic suit. Jean Grey's is classic. I just don't like the covered head with the poof of hair coming out. That's personal preference. So Beast is blue and furry. Iceman is the same as before. Warren looks great as Angel. But yeah, like I said before, all in all, great foundation story. And it is a must read in the X mythos. If you haven't read it, you should. It absolutely is wonderful. And all 70 issues with the original team are really, really good. Some great storylines start here. So with that being said, for writing, I give this a 6 out of 10. Artwork gets a big 8 out of 10 for an overall score of 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, so like I say, Tim says good. For me, like I said, you were going over a lot of it. So the story, and like we said, it brought back, I think the big thing is it brought back the original team of the X-Men, which who had not been together for a very long time. And like I said, it was Jean Grey's return, and she had been gone from the comics for like 5 years around. And then when you find out that, like I said, it was the actual Phoenix who had taken over, so that means Jean Grey herself was gone even longer. They're doing many issues. Basically, like the whole Dark Phoenix saga, everything like that was not this Jean Grey.
No.
And for me, with this comic, the little story behind it is I saw this thing called an Essential. Oh, there's a lot of comic books in there. So I get it, and then I open it, and it is black and white.
You know why they did that?
See,
they were like omnibuses, but on the lower end for cost. It would be different quality paper and no color, so that way they could cram more issues in there and give it to you at a budget price.
Yeah, because that's what I noticed. That was too good to be true. So the price, I remember when I first opened it, I was like, this is in black and white. And I thought, okay, still give it a try. So I read these issues originally in black and white. And this one, it does give you a few others before, like the Fantastic Four, when they find, the cocoon. But this one, this is where the story obviously really got going. And this is where X Factor #1, for me, it's a very dialogue heavy. There's a lot of talking. So someone's not really too into dialogue. That's why it's okay. Maybe they're not going to care much for it. But for me, I was really taken away by the storyline. Like I said, I was able to read it, even though it was black and white. And then another day, another time, read it in color. But yeah, for me, the story really pulled me in. Like you said, it's great for really important to the X, for the X history. And I love X-Men and the other teams, X Factor, New Mutants, all of them. So this really pulled me into X Factor, and like you said, did a great job of pulling you in. Say, okay, now I want to see what's going to happen next with these characters. Now we got the original X-Men back together. You have Cyclops and Jean together, and you got a little bit of the drama. And they're like, X-Men has been known for having quite a bit of drama. Like, with
should
Cyclops.
I call Scott? Should I not? This is the perfect time for me and Jean to get together. Crap! I'll do the right thing.
That was a bit of a storyline, that was going on with Angel and Jean. He liked her, and then Cyclops not being such a good husband or father. Just okay, if you walk,
he just up and left.
Yeah, Madeline's like, if you walk out that door, we're done. He's like, I gotta go. I was like, wow, Cyclops. not a cool move, man. I can understand. Like I said, he's always loved Jean, but he just completely left Madeline. So if you read like Inferno, this is something that you might be like, okay, now I understand Madeline a little more.
Why she would be a little bit mad.
Yeah, exactly. Because then issues would go by and there was like no mention. Whatever happened to her, But even to, like I said, the Rusty Collins story that brought him in, and like you said, how X Factor, like they get him and then say, okay, we're not really here to exterminate you or anything. Yeah. For me, I love this issue just based on mostly the story, like the artwork. When I got to read it in color, I was like, wow, the artwork is really good.
Yeah, that's why color makes a difference, ladies and gentlemen.
It does, yeah. Yeah, for me, this is one that got me really started X Factor, and X Factor is one of my favorite comics. And actually, for me, it's one of my favorite just stories in general, written stories. Me, a 10 out of 10. For me, this is one of my favorite single issues, X Factor #1. If you're an X-Men fan, you're a fan of anything X, I do definitely recommend X Factor #1. So for me,
one
of my favorite single issues.
10 out of 10. I love the fact that this issue is self-contained too, because you don't need to. I mean, if you're an X fan in any capacity, especially when this came out, you kind of already knew what was going on. And even if you didn't, the book itself did a really good job of filling in the holes quickly and informatively enough to get you caught up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did go back and they explained, like I said, if you weren't familiar with the Phoenix saga and everything, they did explain that.
But see, I've got X Factor right here, and here is issue #2.
Issue #2, wow.
So self-contained story, guys, and each story, I think, up until issue 5 is self-contained, because then in issue 5 you have the first cameo of Apocalypse. In issue 6 you have first full appearance, and we all know who Apocalypse is, major villain for the X-Men, and that is the issue where he gets his start. So
it didn't really start things off.
Yeah, X Factor as a whole is a really good series. I think it kind of fell off way later, like after the hundreds and things like that. But when the new team came in 71 with Peter David doing the writing for that, that was a great transition, and bringing Havoc in, keeping a Summers as a leader, but Polaris as his right hand, and them two constantly having a difference of opinion. Yeah, really good.
And then, like I said, X Factor did go along really, like I said, when I was introduced to this, when I started reading it, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how important X Factor was just to the X-Men story as a whole. Like I said, Apocalypse being introduced, his first appearance is in X Factor. And then too, how it went with, shortly after that, it went with the Mutant Massacre. It went with Executioner's, later Executioner's song, when it was the new team, but also before Extinction Agenda, Infernal. Like X Factor had key issues in all those huge X-Men storylines.
Yep, this is where Archangel comes from.
Yeah.
So
this is when he becomes Archangel.
This issue is the one that starts it, the one that gets you going on all of that stuff.
Yeah, so this was the beginning of X Factor number 1. Like I said, I like to do these reviews, and like I said, we could see our different opinions. You say good, 7.0, and I say it's one of my favorites at a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, you have to remember that a 7 grade is not a bad grade. The way you need to look at it is 5 is right down the middle of the road. 5 is the book's not good or bad. It's just it's a read. But the farther you climb up in that ladder, a lot of people forget that. They seem to think that they need to see an 8 or a 9 and then it can be good. No, 7's a solid story. It's a really solid story. The artwork keeps you in there. The words are lengthy, but the information that you get out of it is really good. I would recommend this to anybody if they get tired of reading the main X title. Go to X Factor, read X Factor. Self-contained stories, really separate from Xavier's school and stuff like that. The original team in the modern day at that time doing their thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, so there you go. X Factor number 1, Baptism by Fire, is in the books. And we could say that next week is our 50th episode of the Code X podcast. We'll have some more special things planned, make it a little bit different from our usual show. And if we do a review, we will be reviewing Deadpool, The Circle Chase. That one I'm really excited about. Really fun issue with, Mark with the Mouth, Deadpool. So I'm really excited for that one.
His first solo series too. So yeah, really good.
Yeah. And with that, I could say I'll see you all next week. And Tim will take it away with all the subscribe stuff. Take it away, Tim. You do it way better than I do.
Well, right on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, follow us on all the socials. Jamie's not here to give his closing statements, but you guys know what it is. A smile can change a person's day. Sonny, go ahead and do that for us real quick. That's wonderful. My day's changed already. You guys know Jamie says it better than I do, but you never know what anybody's going through. And if somebody needs a smile, give them a smile, right? But you know what I'm going to say. Follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Discord, and on all podcast streaming platforms. All you have to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have merchandise. It is in the chat right now for you to go and click on and get your sweet Codex swag. And it will also be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't hesitate to click on that link. Buy a shirt, buy a sticker, buy a hoodie. All that stuff that you purchase for Codex swag helps us bring the best videos to you all the time, every time. Once again, guys, all the socials, find us there at the Codex Station. My name is Tim. This guy over here on either side of me is the great and immortal Sonny Kruger. This is the Codex Podcast. We are the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.
See you later.